Wake Wilder, would you like to begin for us? Please.
It's okay. Take your time. It's okay.
I believe it's important on days like today to remind ourselves that we are bound together not by grief, but by a single thread that connects and interweaves many different fabrics. That thread that stitches itself into our being, fiber by fiber, is love. And what we learn from love. I believe that with each loss, we observe in us how it is that thread changes the tapestry of the self. Correct? So we look for a moment and see that while the physical presence of Dedo, both floppy ears, all four furry little paws, while they may not make their way across the carpet, they do dance eternally in memory. Remember now that death is far from final. It's far from finite. Life doesn't simply end. It endures. It's a fertilizer. And it teaches us to, in many ways, see.
Guys, I think now would be a great time to tell y'all that I know that everyone's having...
Life only ends if we allow it to. Dedo, as a spirit, lives in all of us. And what does that spirit represent? Well, it's the spirit of togetherness, the spirit of friendship, the spirit of tolerance towards most people. Not all. Dedo was someone who was able to coexist just as well with his friends as he was his most sworn evolutionary enemies. He had predators surrounding, seeing over top, pawing from atop his enclosure, and they were able to run side by side, paw and paw, along the very same carpet. So when we think of death, we think of the loss of a physical body, but what we have to remember is the absolute endurance of the lesson that physical body serves as a conduit for, correct? That lesson is love. That lesson is togetherness. That lesson is what it means not to love when convenient, but how to love, even against those, even towards those who seem to be otherwise against us. Dedo was many things. Dedo was, I think first and foremost, a champion of unity, but beyond that, champion of unity amongst all people. He was a champion of women's rights. Dedo munched more carpet than probably anyone in this audience. And I like to think that in the next life, there's an infinite stretch of carpet for him to munch again.
Amen.
And I think what we can all take from this is, while you might not see it as the most vital, the most necessary, the most imminent thing, think about how you can munch a carpet of your own. Think about how you could... Sorry, I'm moving. Dedo was, most importantly, above all things mentioned, a bastion of togetherness, a symbol of what it means to not be a lone prancer, but how to sit. And let's give you an example. A rabbit can swivel its ears 180 degrees. There's no thing in a given room a rabbit cannot hear. A rabbit possesses the capacity to see in a 360 degree frame of point. The entirety of the room is visible to the rabbit at any given moment. No sound, no sight escapes that rabbit. And even though the door was wide open, it refused to leave.
Facts. Right.
It refused to leave.
That's right.
Thrust in an environment of revolving door, of screaming, radically unfunny people, he stood right there and munched that damn carpet.
Amen.
And that's why, on one final note, I encourage each and every one of you to look not towards those that you love, but those that you see as being postured against you and say, I love you. And before I really forget, okay? Know one thing. These applause, they're not for me. They're for the spirit of what could have been.
Get off the stage! Oh, no carpet.
Do shall this.
Long live the muncher. Long live.
Very good.
Can I say a word?
Yeah, please, Jimmy.
Just a couple.
Yes, that was very beautiful. That was very beautiful, and it was very brief. Thank you, Wick.